Club of Centennial.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Welcome to the last meeting of 2017. Thank you so much, Phil. Notice Phil is here. He says that he can see out of his one good eye now. I don't know whether he's scamming us or not. Mr. Eunice, would you like to inspire us?
Thank you, Lord, for this wonderful meal. Thank you for this fellowship. Please think of the families that lost loved ones in that train wreck. And remember that cold weather's coming, the homeless have needs, and we need to look at service above self to try and support them. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Jackson, would you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Butler, how about a Rotary Minute?
Good morning. I hear you at this
Microphone.
At this end of the year moment with our microphones, I'd like to remind everybody what we love about Rotary and why, when there's so many organizations that we could be involved in, and in a lot of cases we are involved in, why Rotary is really hitting a home run every day. I want to tell you from the Rotary website, if you hadn't got to see Rotary International's website lately, it's something. Here's 6 reasons that I love Rotary. We fight disease around the world. We know specifically about polio. We teach people to read. We're acutely involved with that. We build peace. That's not one you hear about every day, but Rotary has an integral part in actually building peace projects, peacekeeping projects, and teaching our youth resolution conflict other than violence and armed reaction. We provide clean water and sanitation. We are acutely aware and involved with that. Number 5, we grow local economies. I think that's easy to see how we participate in that. And number 6, we save mothers and children. That's not one we hear of locally as much, but we are certainly involved with the health of young mothers, and that's a huge international front for Rotary. I'd like to learn more about. Thank you.
Thanks, Trip. We don't have a business minute today. I want to thank Messrs. Horiuchi and Chapuris for setting up. John McCarty, it looks like you're on takedown duties today. Thank you for doing that. Patrick McGuire, where are you hiding today?
I don't know. What is that?
Reader today? Were you greeting? Oh. 10 demerits for the new member.
He was greeting everybody as a buffet bar.
Good. So Phil, you may want to note that and give Mr. McGuire double greeting duties here coming up as we break him in. Yeah, we're gonna work you hard. Tim, thanks for the very nice words of inspiration, and Alan, thanks for leading the pledge. Oh, there she is. Barb, back in the back. Barb. You, Barb. No, don't bring knives when you come up. Leave the knives behind. Come on up. Yep. So every year at this time, Barb helps us out all year long. She puts up with us. She puts up with Phil. Very, very important. I'm very nice to her. And then Randy, I guess, is slammed. Normally he would come up here, but we have a little token of our appreciation. for all that you do this for the year. And if you could give that to Randy, we would very much appreciate it. Barb, thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? No? Okay. So we do have a couple of guests. Julie Spear is going to be our speaker a little later. Julie, can you just stand up and wave and say hi? See, nobody bit. It's going to be okay when you're speaker. And then her mom, Dorothy, is here. Julie was in, were you RYLA or Young RYLA this year? Young RYLA. Julie and Dorothy actually helped out with our last food collection at King Soopers. So getting a really, really good start on service. So we appreciate that very much. Birthdays, only one, and that's for Byron, who unfortunately is becoming an ex-member soon, but today's his birthday. No wedding anniversaries this week. Nobody seems to want to get married in December. I don't know why that is. Who's going to do... I saw Catherine and Eric. Did they duck out for breakfast? Yes. Okay. I will torment them later. Ms. Zeng, would you like to give us a wrap-up on Santa Claus?
Microphone. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you. Jessica Regan from our group headed up the Santa Claus project with Sherry Hansen from the DTC group in the Arapahoe Crossings, which many of you were at. And then Barb and a few of us, handful, were at the Quebec location. We helped 85 kids. And we have 4 different additional Kohl's locations that are on board for next year. We also have, we're starting to pitch corporations for donations, so this thing could really blow up. Santa Claus was a huge success. It's heartbreaking and heartwarming all at the same time, but we're really looking forward to blowing it up. We have a kickoff meeting in February, and we hope to make a huge presence and have a table at the district conference, as well as passing along the Santa in a Hat stick drive that helps people run their own Santa Claus project. But in a nutshell, we've collected a few letters, and I neglected to bring it with me today, but I am going to bring it next meeting. There were two kids in particular, who had never been shopping. This is not a story that we haven't heard before, but the Rotarian that helped these 2 boys spent all the time giving them permission. The abusive situation that they've been involved in and the lack of ever having anything that was their own. That's real heartwarming, and we hear those stories over and over again. So I can't thank you guys enough. So many of you pitched in way more than just a thought. And there are a lot of kids that were helped, and next year is going to be even better. So thank you.
Great. Thanks, Diane. Appreciate all your efforts. Mary Alice Jackson, you want to give us just a quick update on Prime Timers?
Tonight is Prime Timers' trip to downtown. We're taking a bus trip with RTD Senior Ride, which is costing everybody $2.60, which they love. And we're leaving the Willow Creek location at 6:45 to go see the lights. And we've had several people get sick at the last minute. We had a waiting list to go, and we have we have one spot for sure, and possibly another one. Cheryl is also not feeling well, so we may have 2 spots. If anybody's interested, let me know.
Thanks, Mary Alice. Mr. Pye, would you rise and approach the bench, please? So who can tell me what the Paul Harris Award is? Catherine.
Paul Harris was our project father, and we give $1,000 to 1,000 families. 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 1,000 famili
Very good. With any, well, that's the Paul Harris Society. That's
Society is continuous.
right. Right. Well, Mr. Pye is getting a Paul Harris plus 5, so he has donated 5 Paul Harrises over the years. Congratulations. Nicely done. So basically, it's a Paul Harris Award with all sorts of sparkly things set in it. So pretty nice. Say what? Don't you get a ruby then? Something like that. Yeah, I've lost track, but definitely works really well. So let's talk a little bit about the Manzanillo trip. I didn't have a chance to talk about it last week. So the dates are February 24th to March 3rd. Quite a few people have already made their reservations. Who here is interested in going but has not yet made reservations?
I need a partner because while I can afford it, I'd rather not.
Right. So there's definitely a break if you do double occupancy. So Ann is looking for, if at all possible, a roommate down there.
I would also like to say, do you mind if I interrupt you? I looked at this, and one of the things you keep saying is that Las Hadas is closer than the other one, which is cheaper. The other one's cheaper. Actually, if you look at the map, the one that I'm looking at is closer in terms of walking. But, you know, it didn't seem up to the folks that went to the international convention, so I could also go by.
Okay. Anyway, so if you're interested in going, pretty good idea to make your reservations. So quite a few of us have reservations at Las Hadas by Brises, but the Dolphin Cove Inn is also in that same area, and they're around the same price. Are there any questions about the trip at this point? Yes, Cheryl. We can if you want to. Yeah, we can meet if you want. Nobody responded to the email, so yeah. So apparently there's not an interest. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, we can meet after the meeting and go on. On your table, some tables have a couple of Rotary Christmas ornaments. Those are first come, first serve. So if you want one, grab it and squirrel it away. I saw Eric. Eric, where are you? There he is. Catherine and Eric, would you rise and approach the bench?
Dun, dun, dun. Wait, it's not summertime yet. I'm ready for this. Oh, wait, I'm so excited.
Why, is this your wedding?
No. So I wasn't sure if you were coming, but I have everything here.
That's the blind meeting.
So why don't you guys stand kind of right here. No, back here so you can see. Right here. See, because there's the camera. Oh. And we want to make sure you're on the camera. So get close to them. So we are inducting another new member. Oh, PDA! Get a room. Fellow Rotarians, it's the duty of our Rotary Club to add new members from time to time so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community. Today I welcome to our ranks and admit to membership Eric, is it Hauf or Hoff? Eric Hauf. Rotarian Hauf. You have been elected to membership in this club because your fellow members believe you to be a worthy representative of your calling and also possess qualities that will permit you to exemplify the true spirit of Rotary in your public, business, social, and private life. I wish to impress upon you that you have been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Centennial, but also to a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club in its task of carrying the principles of Rotary into the daily life of the community. I ask all members to rise. Rotarian Eric Hoff. In the name of Rotary Club of Centennial, I now formally admit you to membership in this club and to affix to your lapel the emblem. And Catherine, I'm going to let you do the affixing. Here is the object to affix.
We had coffee with Randy Poach, and the first thing he looked at me and said, "Would you rather pay?" So now we're talking to these people. You can show us everywhere.
Just yank that bad boy. I hope she does better with the ring. Fellow Rotarians, I commend to you our newest member, Rotarian Eric Hoff, and I charge all of you to welcome, I love this part, him or her. Congratulations, Catherine, congratulations. All right, thank you. And here is your packet of useful stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. For the camera, you should make that disclaimer, John.
So we have, thanks to Andres, so Nancy Nystrom, who runs the Children's Foundation, who operates the Casa Hogar Los Angelitos, the orphanage that we're going to be dealing with, wrote a book about her experiences. Andres bought 2 books, so if anybody is going to go on the trip and wants to learn more about the orphanage, I have a book. Now, we ask that you maybe donate the cost back to our foundation, because Andres paid for these out of his own pocket. But anyway, I have 2 books up here if anybody is interested.
Can I say a few words, John?
You may say as many words as your little heart desires.
They say the definition of eternity is when you give the mic to a Mexican.
I may use that.
That's what my boss says.
Yeah.
Anyway, the book is really amazing. And when Kevin was here, he only had 2 books. I wish he had more, but I can definitely get more if anybody's interested. This is the actual story of Nancy and why she started the children's home in Mexico. It's a history. It's a story of despair, how she started in life, and all the things that she went through in life. To what you probably heard, to when she lost her son, and then everything that came into the actual starting of the children's home and how that's changed her life. So it's a story of hope, but it's a really good book. Definitely recommend it.
Thanks, Andres. Do we have any travel gifts? No, we're rolling right along. Mr. Hope, I guess you're doing Happy Bucks for your buddy, Mr. Gale.
I am. Where's the IOU box? Right here. Oh, we need that. I don't need the box, just give me the, there we go. All right. Excuse me. I do have an IOU dollar to Diane Zing and her team for Happy Dollar for Santa Claus. She does a great job, and it sounds like this thing is just really exploding. So anyway, I will do $1 for that. And Doug, you're just looking at me. They have this steering, no dollar today, Doug? No, thank you. Thank you. This is Happy Bucks, you know. What are you happy about? Anything. I'll take the 5. Thank you.
I am just happy that I have a really nice Christmas to look forward to, unlike many people in America that are not so fortunate.
Thank you. Mr. Randy. Here's the IOUs right here, buddy. It is happy time. I expect at least $5. I mean, you're Paul Harris plus 5. That's worth some dough right here. Can I shame you into something?
No, it will not.
But a couple things, and I'm not sure what this is going to add up to, but to Diane for her continued work with Santa Claus, that's great. And the fact that we're helping so many kids, that's just absolutely amazing. As we are in so many different areas, and Andres, your pursuit of the orphanage and keeping that working. And also to my friend over here on my left, Mr. Hope. I wasn't here last week to talk about this, but the Christmas tree giveaway was an amazing thing to start from scratch. And Ken sent me a thank you note, and I really responded in the fact that it was him we should all thank because he made it fun. Absolutely. And also, I'm looking forward also to a great Christmas with my daughter and her husband and my 2 grandkids. And we're not doing anything other than coming over to our house and watching movies and playing games. So it's going to be very calm. I've gone through 5 public hearings in the last 4 weeks, and I don't think I can do this much more. And I have one more today. So the last one is $5, $5. The last one is I wish all of you all a great, happy, Merry Christmas.
I got it. I wrote it down. Thank you. So I'm fine. Hey. The jaws of life is separated over here. All right. One time a year, Greg. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. I know you do. Here you are.
I'm just doing this so he doesn't shame me into anything more. I don't know if you remember, but years ago, I really don't usually do this, and I remember I finally did once, and the bulletin the next week said the jaws of life opened up Cockrell's billfold. At any rate, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Ernst, you got any money today?
I got a couple bucks.
Thank you.
$2. Just happy for Christmas week, of course. And second buck is thanks to everybody for supporting Eric in his pet toy drive. Thank you, Andres. You could see it in my eyes. I couldn't say it. He's super excited to go. We're going to go deliver him this weekend. He's very excited for that.
Good. Patrick, Mr. Greeter next week. How much you got? Hold on. Remind me, I owe you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just happy to see on Facebook a couple of days ago my son, who's a retired captain in the Navy, who is living in Las Vegas above all places, and to see that he's a member of Rotary, and that he and some guys were out in Red Rock Canyon doing some cleanup work. So I'm hopefully someday he comes this way, we will have him come as a guest. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thanks, Patrick. Samantha, what you got?
Hi. So this is a thank you to everyone this year. Just you guys are awesome, and I really appreciate how amazing each one of you are. So there you go. That's my Christmas present to you all. So don't expect anything else. Next is on Thursday, my company, Universal Lending, had their holiday party, and we unveiled an amazing partnership that our foundation has with Craig Hospital now, and we're doing what's called the Mortgage Bridge Program, and we're paying mortgages up from 1 to 6 months for those that have been in an accident and qualify. And I mean, it gives me goosebumps. I'm so excited about the program, and it's something our foundation started in 2001 to help those during September 11th, and now we're reigniting it, and it's just really amazing, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you. Very nice. What do we got over here? This Fleck. You have any money? Give her $1.
I have $5 for Ken Hope again. Just the incredible amount of time he put into this Christmas tree project, and I'm going to attempt anyway to see if headquarters in Chicago might be interested in an article on his efforts.
You got the 5?
No.
Got
an IOU.
Okay, I have 5. Thank you. Oh yeah. Jeez.
Don't give me IOUs back.
So many things to be thankful for. And obviously, the first one is for this club and for Rotary in general. Every morning when you turn on the news or read the newspaper or get your news feed on Facebook, Twitter, or wherever you get it, you hear all the awful things that are going on in the world, in this country, in Colorado, in Denver, in Centennial. And then you come here and you listen to all the projects we're doing, uninterested, helping people literally on the other side of the globe, in Madagascar, with our neighbors in Mexico and in other places, that it's just amazing. It really restores my faith in humanity. There's goodwill, there's people that want to do something about all that bad stuff that we hear every day. The problem is that doesn't sell as good as the bad stuff, so we don't hear about it that often. But that's why I love coming here on Tuesday. The second one is, so that was for all of you, thank you. The second one is basically I love my job, I'm so thankful for it, but we're in the middle of 2 transactions right now, so I hope that doesn't derail my intentions of going to Manzanillo. And I have another trip planned with my son in February, so it will depend on where everything lands in terms of closing those transactions, but we'll see. So maybe you'll see a little less of me in January, depending on how that thing goes. Third one, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, peace to all of you, and Feliz Navidad. An apology back to our speaker because I'm going to have to leave early. And lastly, to Eric, welcome. Oh, he's not here, but just tell him, welcome to the family. You can
hand it to John. Thank you, Anders.
This is a wonderful time of year. My daughter and her family are going to come into town tomorrow evening to spend a few days with us. They'll head back to Fargo before Christmas so they can spend Christmas at home, but we'll be able to have all of our children and our grandchildren together for an early Christmas. Plus, Thursday is my mother's 103rd birthday. So I have $103.
What a man. Kathy, what you got?
I have 5 happy dollars. I'll be away for a couple weeks going to warmer climes. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays to everybody. And last night I had the pleasure, the first time, of going to the Denver Zoo Lights. It was Karen Berry had won the tickets to go, and she was sick and couldn't go. So 4 of us got to go, and sorry she didn't, but anybody has a chance to see the Denver Zoo Lights, well worth it this year.
You hold on to that. Jackson's, you got anything? Yes. All right, Charlie.
Yes.
Fiber.
This is my 80th Christmas.
Yay! Hold on a second. I got to keep track of the money here, so I don't owe you anymore, right? All right. Okay. All right. This is tough accounting here. Roxy. No, I put it in my pocket.
I have $3, and one is wishing you all peaceful Christmas and echoing what Andres said of why we keep coming every Tuesday, because it reminds us of what's good in the world. And also, last Saturday, I went to the post office, the little-known post office besides Cottrell Printing, which is a little great secret to go there. It's awesome. They're nice to you. Your brother Paul is so nice. No, he has not gone postal. But there's this man, and he's cleaning up all the trash in the parking lot, and he's doing all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I realized it's Greg Cottrell. And I just wanted to say that, I just thought it was awesome that you do everything in your business, from cleaning the parking lot to managing all your employees. And a side of you I didn't know. And reminded me of when I worked for my dad. That was one of my jobs. It's cleaning up the trash in the parking lot. And the third one is for Eric. Welcome.
I ran into Greg pulling weeds last year, and I can attest that he does, in fact, sweat. So
there are janitorial services, Greg, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was rules.
Care, you want each other here?
So, apology buck for Eric. As you saw, he slipped out. He's on his way to Atlanta to see his daughter's band concert flying in tomorrow morning. Which brings me to my first buck, which is a prayer buck for all of us as we travel. Everything that happened in Atlanta this weekend, I just pray that those of you who have to travel, that it goes smoothly and that we all come back safe and sound in January. Excitement buck for State of the City. I know it's not till April, but you'll all be pleased to know that we have our title sponsor back. So, and thanks to our newest member who knows how to work things at Sierra Nevada, we look like we have a new corporate sporting sponsor for State of the City. So, and finally, and this is actually, I'm totally cheating because I'm actually giving 75 happy bucks. Whoa. For those of you who didn't see, Saturday was my beautiful mother's 75th birthday. She doesn't look her age, and I'm so excited to celebrate her. And not that I need 75 more years, but I would love to be able to do what John's doing for his mother.
Thank you, Catherine. Hold on. Angie, no money today? All right. Alan. Michael Ober.
Yeah, I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and be safe and have a Happy New Year.
Thanks, Mike. Mr. Peller.
Well, I think that as we gather over this holiday season, that we have to remember that there's probably three most important buttons on every apparatus we have. The first is the off button. The second is the delete button. And the third is the trash. I would encourage all of you to use those regularly as you focus on your families.
Thank you. Paul.
Yeah, 5 happy bucks. Just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Come on, give him the mic here. Shame you into something. I know.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. All right. Kevin.
So I've missed more Christmases than I care to remember. But as you know, I have twin sons. Missed their first birthday, missed their first steps, missed their first Christmas. Just want to give my happy bucks for the men and women serving our country, that they won't be home on Christmas. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and I appreciate everything they do for us.
Yes, ma'am. What do you got?
I have 2 happy bucks. One is for the Santa Claus. It was really a great experience, and I was able to take a freshman named Samantha shopping, so that was really nice. Yeah, it was awesome. It worked out really well. So, and she was a really, really nice girl, very sweet and very timid, and I had to keep telling her, like, you're not insulting me. You pick what you want, because when we leave here, you're wearing it. I'm not, so. And the other one... no, I forgot what the other one. Oh, the other one is my brother, sister-in-law, and nephew are coming in from San Diego for New Year's. So it will be a really great time in Breckenridge as long as we get snow. And he's very upset because Michigan State is in the Holiday Bowl in San Diego, and he will be landing here the day of the Holiday Bowl. So I've already been told that I have to make it up by making sure we have proper beverages and food. So.
Very good. All right. Tripper.
Thanks. I have 5 today. You're welcome. Really, mostly Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody, and welcome to our guests. And thanks, Eric. It's good to have you aboard wherever you are, on your way somewhere. I did want to say safe travels to everybody, and the operative word there is travel. If you are traveling, don't forget your travel gifts. I would love to see that travel gift portion of our program become important again. And I'm so glad that one of the young RYLA students is here. There's another young man who is supposed to be here, and he is a super stellar boy. And I there's no sense pointing fingers at why he's not here, but his dad dropped the ball and did not bring him. He's my son, Frankie.
Way to go.
I'm super proud of the guy. I'm so sorry that I really want to take the blame before he does get here eventually and somebody roasts him.
It should be worth another 5.
I know, you're probably.
Jay, what do you got?
All right, I have 3.
First is Diane and the team for the great job that you have done over the years, and second is happy holidays. That including all these the Christmas and the New Year. And the third is, when we say the Happy New Year, Happy Holidays or Happy New Year, it actually extends to next year, to the Chinese New Year, or the Lunar New Year. So in February, we'll do the line dance again.
Thanks, Jay. Mr. Shattuck, I see you got $1 there.
$1 just for a happy holiday season and safe travels for everyone.
And I didn't forget about Mr. Wexler here. Big 5 here.
This is, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a loving Christmas and a great 2018. I'm so glad I'm in this organization. Thank you.
I didn't know we were organized.
Bill.
I have 2 here, one for Merry Christmas to all my Rotary family and my family, and another $1 for steady hands of my eye surgeon. And actually, the extra money that Ken sent to my eye surgeon so we would do a good job, too.
All right. Mr. Buck, what you got?
I got $5. It's kind of hard to follow all these big buck acts this morning, but first off, let me know if anybody has not gotten to sign the surprise card for Phil. Well, I told him to write something really, really nice, Anyway, so if anybody's missing this, let me know. Diane, great job with Santa Claus. We got, Barb, my wife, and I got a young lady named Roxette, and she was very appreciative and really makes you feel good. This has grown, and it's quite a project now. So, welcome to Eric, even though he can't hear me. Be nice to have him as a new member. And that's all. Happy birthday, everybody.
Good job, Mr. Buck. All right, Barb.
I have 2. One is Merry Christmas to everybody. And if you're traveling, safe travels. The other one is to Greg. Although he has jaws of life, I think you've given $1 the last 3 weeks. Your reputation is at risk.
Early Alzheimer's, he can't remember, apparently. Diane.
I'm giving 10 as just a thank you to everybody for what you do and all the projects we have. And RYLA is an amazing opportunity, and I'm really happy for you. And I'm also going to give a 20 to buy myself 1 minute to do a prayer for everybody, if you don't mind. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we all come from different walks of life. We all have different faith. We pray that you're with us during this time and throughout the year. May our travels, our family time, and our love be blessed with your grace. May our hearts be full, and may we all remember the true meaning of Christmas, no matter what walk of faith we have and what kinds of relationships we have. We ask for your blessings in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Dr. Paul, couple?
Yes. I first want to wish everyone happy holidays, and the second one is, as you know, I've been missing a lot, and I got to tell you, listening to this, you really don't know what you have until you miss it. You don't have it anymore. So thank you, guys.
Santa.
All right, we'll have a fundraiser, my sleigh out after the meeting. Anyway, $2, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 1, on last Thursday, I had the opportunity to take my mentoree to the Denver Southeast Club at Cherry Hills Country Club. It was pretty fancy, pretty swanky, but you know the neat thing was? They had an AV problem, and I didn't have to mess with it. It was wonderful. The second $1 is for Diane and the Santa Claus. My wife had a young lady, I don't remember her name, but she got up in the morning, didn't feel well. They told her that she had to go because it was a work project that morning. She got there, she was totally surprised. She had never been in a department store in her life to buy clothes. So she was very appreciative.
Thanks, Santa. David, anything? All right. Is that it?
No, you forgot a table.
Sorry, it's taking so long here. All right, Annie.
Yeah, I need 18 back.
Jesus.
Well, you know, good. Yeah, that's why I waited. I'm doing two. One is an apology buck. I had this cold that I understand other people are having, and the last thing I wanted to do on Wednesday was infect somebody else, get it spread around. The other is, I don't know, I was watching the news the other day, and on Channel 4 they were talking about CASA. And there was Andrea Tagtoe. Yeah, I thought maybe you guys would like to know that they didn't mention Rotary, but they should have.
Kent, you got anything? All right. No Iowa Hawkeye anything today? All right.
No, they're in the pinstripe bowl.
Okay. Well, hey, what can I say?
Pinstripe bowl.
Mr. Prez, what you got?
I got three. First is for Diane Zing. Thank you for all the time and effort you put in for Santa Claus. I really love watching the face of the kids, as they were bamboozled into believing that they were going to have to do inventory.
I know, I tell them that every
And
time.
then, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we get new stuff. So that was really pretty cool. I've got one for Eric. Too bad he's not here. He bailed out, but I think he's going to be a great member to the club. And the third is a get out of town buck. Karen and I are hitting the road early Thursday morning to go down to Phoenix, spend time with my 97-year-old mom and my 90-year-old father. So Merry Christmas to everyone. It's not her birthday. it's not her birthday. Sometime. Sometime we'll be waiting. Yes. Mr. Ostegard, would you like to introduce our speaker?
There's no microphone.
No. And I kind of cued her on how to work the mic. So.
Okay, great. Okay, today's program is going to be about our RYLA program. First of all, a show of hands, how many people do not know what Rotary Youth Leadership Awards are? Okay, good. Some of the newer members. All right. Rotary Youth Leadership, a brief introduction. The Rotary Youth Leadership Awards are our one-week camps that our district sponsors. Each club gets to select as many as within their abilities can support to send these kids off to the camp. The senior RYLA, we call them seniors because they're in senior high school, is at Estes Park, YMCA Camp of the Rockies. And it moved last year. It used to be held the last 2 weeks in July, and now it's the last 2 weeks in June, which put me under some pressure because I usually get the young RYLA students up first and then deal with the RYLA, but this year I had to reverse that. Anyway, that is for juniors, this year's sophomores and juniors, those students that will be the following year juniors and seniors at their high schools. Talk a little bit more about that when our student is done. We also sponsor Young RYLA. Today's student was a Young RYLA student. We were supposed to have two. I think somebody already confessed. We don't have any of our senior RYLA students today because when Jeannie told me a couple months ago that this would be the date, I thought, oh, great. It's going to be during holiday break. I did not realize, and get this, the father of two teachers, didn't realize that this is finals week for the senior high school students. So none of our senior RYLA students are here this week. So I'll talk a little bit about them after Julie has her opportunity to speak to you. And I'll also give a few words on Frankie, although most of you already know him. So with that, we have with us today Julie Spear. She is a young RYLA student and went to this year's camp, which was held at the Ponderosa retreat. It's down in Larkspur. It is east of I-25 off of County Line Road. A beautiful facility down there. And that's, again, it's a one-week camp. She is a 8th grader at Campus Middle School. Next year, she'll be attending Cherry Creek High School. So, with that, I want to give the floor over to Julie Spear.
I came here to.
It's working.
Okay. I came here today to thank you for giving me the life-changing opportunity of going to Young RYLA. Before camp, I would usually stand back in group efforts. I did not have much confidence in myself and my abilities. After I went to Young RYLA, I feel like I am living the best life possible for me. Thank you for sponsoring me.
Questions?
I think like when we did the group effort projects, like we had like games and riddles we had to solve, and it really helped me like get in there and solve for myself instead of just standing back and let others do things.
What did RYLA do to change how your life at school is?
Well, I felt like at my first year, like in 7th grade, it was my first new year at campus, and I felt like I was kind of like jealous of other people, and I wasn't really confident in myself. Like I just felt like I had to be like everyone else. But now, like I can be my own self and be confident.
Why don't you give us what your week was like? Start off on Sunday when you got there. Run us through what you did.
Well, like so they would have guest speakers, and they'd come in and give us like their story, and they would inspire us on how to be better people. And then we do like activities like team building activities and like how to build your confidence and be a better leader. And then we just do like a whole bunch of activities of like how to get out there instead of just standing back.
How was the food? She also learned diplomacy.
Dark blue.
Just say yes.
Yes.
He was the best one there. I remember.
Yeah, he was here, he would say.
I have a question. Can you talk about what the selection process was like for you, what you went through to become a RYLA?
Well, my mom read on Nextdoor, someone put a post saying, if anyone wants to come to RYLA, you can come have an interview. So I met Kent at Starbucks, and we had an interview, and I talked about like my hobbies and why I wanted to go to RYLA and like my background.
What are your hobbies? What do you do?
Well, I play field hockey. I like to do art, playing with my dog, being outdoors, playing piano.
By the way, the application itself is all online, and it's 3 pages long.
We're really proud of you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say that for those of you who don't know, I've gotten the benefit of working with Julie and her mother Dorothy at the last food drive. They're beautiful, amazing people. So if you haven't introduced yourself, please do. And we're hoping maybe someday Dorothy will be joining our club.
No pressure. All right. All right. Great job, Julie.
Thank you.
Julie has contacted me several times since she got back from RYLA via email about volunteer opportunities. And I've tried to give her as much information as possible, but of course, I forgot about Santa Claus. I forgot about the tree giveaway. So, I have Dorothy's email address. If anybody would like me to pass it along for any projects in the future that you think Julie would be get benefit of or would be helpful at, Ann mentioned CASA, and I forgot all about that. So please let me know, and we'll pass Julie's name along to help us out. Roxy.
Also, if you go to bestrotary.com, under, I think there's a tab on the top called Events, Event Calendar, and you look at our calendar, you'll see things that are not on Tuesday. And a lot of those things are service opportunities where we talk about the food collection, like the Casa Thanksgiving dinner was there, this Santa Claus, all these events are out there. So and usually there's, I usually put a contact person and give you their cell number so you can contact them.
Yeah, I did forward the website to Dorothy because I knew that was a more reliable source than I am. So I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about the other students who couldn't be here today, and then start promoting for next year's camps. And we were a little short on our senior RYLA students. For those of you that are not aware, we sponsor 5 for senior RYLA, and we sponsor 2 for young RYLA. And we're going to stay at that level for the next year because the last 2 years we've been a little short of applicants for the senior RYLA program. We only had 3 that were sponsored, that came directly from our club this year. The other 2 were alternates at other, who had interviewed with other clubs and weren't able to go, but we were able to provide them an opportunity. Those 2 students, one came from Boulder. Her name is Jae Young Shim, and she attends Fairview High School in Boulder. And bear with me a second while I get Brendan Anthony was interviewed by the Westminster Club. He is a student at North Glen High School, and I obviously didn't invite them because they're on the north end of town. But I was just glad that we were able to use those, the money and the slots that we had already paid for to send some students along. The 3 students that came through our club, 2 of them are participating in the Boys Hope, Girls Hope program at Aurora Central High School. This is the 2nd year that we've been able to send students through that program. That's a great opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little concerned about future because Ryan Wiedemann, who was in the Millennial Group, no longer works there. And although I have a contact now through that program, I hope they're as enthusiastic as Ryan was. We have some absolutely outstanding students from that program. And these are kids that would not have any opportunity to attend a camp like RYLA if it wasn't for that program. And I'm looking through my applications. Irene Gonzalez was one of the students, and she is an incredibly shy young woman. And it was like, I was interviewing her, and it was like I couldn't get 2 words out of her. And I was going, man, I don't know. Should I do this? So I talked to Ryan a little bit after I interviewed her. And I said, gosh, Ryan, she's awful shy. Are you sure that? And he said, don't worry. He said, she'll blossom. And so I sent her, and apparently she did. So I'm glad to hear that. The other young man, his name is Christian. I'm looking for his last name here. He's an African-American student and a big kid. Good night. He's like 6'2" and about 270 pounds. He plays offensive tackle for Aurora Central High School. But man, was he dynamic. And it was a real pleasure interviewing him. So one of the, Christian Wells, he'll be a senior this year. He is a senior this year at Aurora Central. And what a great opportunity to be able to send a young man like that. Real dynamic kid. 4.0 at Aurora Central. And as I mentioned, he's a football player and quite a student. The 5th student from the senior program was James Martin. He attends Littleton High School. He's a friend of Ann's. And he was so enthusiastic about RYLA, he applied last year. And I interviewed him, and I misread his application. And it turns out he was a freshman last year. So I told him he couldn't attend because they only allow sophomores and juniors. And I said, but please, I was going to select you, but you're too young. Apply again next year, and I can almost guarantee you'll get a spot. And he did, and he got a spot. And he is engineering. He's really into engineering. I think he said he wanted to get into go to Colorado School of Mines. And he's taken the STEM course curriculum at Littleton, and I believe one of his two schools was the School of Mines, and the other was CSU. So, and then the young Riley, you already met Julie, and the second student was Tripp's son Frank. And no. And he was a pleasure to interview. And he also he's in 8th grade right now, and he goes to Powell Middle School. So with that being said, the website is up and running and accepting applications. I already have one. Julie's older sister has applied for senior RYLA.
Very nice.
And I'll be interviewing her in January. So, and this is unusual. It's the first year. Usually they do not put that up until February 1st and allow applications. But they actually had it up December 1st this year, which is great. So it's open. If you know students that would benefit from our leadership program, please have them go to the website, and I'll give you that website in a second. Don?
I was going to ask what the website is.
Yep. You ready for it?
Yeah.
www.RYLA.org. Stands for Rocky Mountain RYLA. And again, we cover 2 districts, ours 5450 and the one to our north 5440. Students come from Wyoming, northern Colorado, the Denver area, and western Nebraska. And that's for both programs. I also wanted to give a plug for RYLA Plus. RYLA Plus is our program for physically challenged students. It is the same age group as the high school students. They meet at the Easter Seals Camp in Empire. And so it's a full facility for physically challenged students. It's the same program. And so if you know somebody a student of that age that does have physical challenges and would not be able to attend regular RYLA, we have only 20 spots available for the 2 districts for that program. But please, keep that in mind if you know of a child that has any kind of physical disability. We want to make sure that they get a chance to attend RYLA. Any questions? Cheryl. I took the one.
Thank you. I have no idea who is in contact with the counselor or whoever is at Arapahoe High School, but they bring us such incredible students for Student of the Month. Would you mind contacting them and sharing with them that there's this opportunity for their students to go? That would be great.
Thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that reminder, because yes, those students are exactly the kind of kids we're looking for on a regular basis. Catherine?
I'm kind of embarrassed to ask this, but what are the requirements? Is it need-based? Is it grade-based?
Absolutely not. Not need-based. The requirements are, we're just looking for students that will benefit from leadership skills that are taught at the camp. I'll give a plug, and I do this only because she's my own daughter, but she went to RYLA, and she was a mediocre student at best at Cherry Creek High School, and kind of in the shadow of her older sister, and she just kind of was floundering around at school, and but I think she had leadership skills, and so we sent, when I was Highlands Ranch Club, I encouraged her to apply. She applied. She was sent. She came back, and she had the same enthusiasm about the program as Julie exhibited today. And, you don't see these things that they learn right away. Megan graduated and went on to UNC. She was in the honors program. She's an honor student on the dean's list at Northern Colorado. Got her, went to work, started teaching in Denver. Now teaches in the Cherry Creek school system. She has her master's in special education, and now is in the educational leadership doctorate program at DU. So, you just don't see the immediate effects right away, but the impact on them leads to these things down the road. And I think, Roxy, your daughter went?
Yeah, my daughter went, and I have the same kind of testimonial as Kent. My daughter she was a good student, but very, very shy. And a typical day would be, I'd say, how was your day? Why do you want to know? Okay, so you'd have to drag anything out of her. And when we would go to places, I'd have to take her, and once I would introduce her, she could engage in a group, but she would never approach a group by herself. And when we drove up to RYLA, we're thinking we got to do the same thing. We're going to have to kind of take her over, introduce her to people. When you get to RYLA, you are surrounded by kids. They come and take your suitcase, and she's gone like that. We're like, whoa, I guess we're off that duty. We went and picked her up, and we drove from Estes Park the long way over Trail Ridge back to Denver, which is, 3-hour drive? And she never quit talking. And to this day, service is a huge component of her life. And it was life-changing.
Yeah, see how it affects the parents. And I know that we have other folks, Tom's grandson, and Barb's got 3.
I have 3 young RYLAs.
3 young RYLAs. One senior, right?
I wanted to mention our history. My grandson had no interest in RYLA, didn't know what it was, and we kind of pushed him to go. And he got really wrapped up in it, just came back talking, like Roxy says. And then he became a RYLA counselor, and he's now a sophomore at College of Charleston, and he's on the sailing team, and they were #1 nationally last year. They had to beat out Harvard and Yale and a lot of very competitive ones. And so he's doing real well, and a lot of it, I think, is from RYLA.
And I remember when I interviewed him, he was into sailing at that time. So, yeah, it's interesting that he's been able to carry it forward at college. So,
I was gonna suggest, and again, I'm learning about a lot of new things through Eric, but he was a commander with the Civil Air Patrol, which is the junior high and high school ROTC for Air Force. So these kids are trying to get into the academies and things like that. So I'll definitely, you need to probably email, and I'll connect you guys for that. And I was going to suggest even out at Buckley and those kids, because, again, a lot of those kids have a heart for service, and they're trying to go for big things, and obviously leadership is a big component of that. So,
yeah, don't limit it to your family members. This can expand to just the type of group that Catherine's talking about, your churches, or any of our other volunteer activities. When you see a young student, think about them. I've got a young man next door that lives next to me. He's in 7th grade this year, so he's the perfect age for young RYLA. And this guy 2 years ago came around knocking on the door asking if he could mow my lawn for me. And he's got a little lawn mowing business. He does about 21 yards in the neighborhood. And he has type 1 diabetes and manages to do all these yards while still managing his diabetes. So I'm thinking, this kid's an excellent candidate for young RYLA. So, Alan?
Yeah, the ages for the young RYLA, where does it start?
7th grade.
7th grade.
Yes, they're this year's 7th grade students. So last year, Julie was in 7th grade. She was eligible. Frankie was in 7th grade. They're going into 8th.
Okay.
So they go during the summer, and they're going into the 8th grade. And senior, I think I already mentioned that.
Does every club have quotas like ours?
Every club has opportunities, yeah. It varies depending on their commitment to the program. We started out with 2, I think, and 1 young RYLA. We've expanded. Young RYLA is limited in space, so we are limited right now to 2, based on the participation of the other clubs in the district. We were able to expand 2 or 3 years ago. Do you remember, Barb? They opened it up. They expanded. They took not only more space at the YMCA, but they doubled the time. And so that's why we were limited to 2 for the longest time. We wanted more, but we were limited by space to 2. And then when they were able to open it up, we expanded to 5. And right now, I think that's our limit, only because I think this is our 3rd year at 5, and then only the first year was the only year that we found 5 students within our club. Greg?
I was just going to say, I have a nephew that went to RYLA, and when he applied and everything, I suggested that he go, and I was never sure how he was going to do, because I wasn't sure if he was shy or just a smart-ass little kid, but he really did well, and I was amazed at like Roxy was saying, he just couldn't stop talking about it, and in fact, the next year, I think for the next year or 2, he applied to be a counselor. He wanted to continue on with that, but in a role as a counselor instead of an attendee. So terrific program for the kids.
Yeah, my daughter also was a junior counselor, and Tom, your grandson was a junior counselor too, right? Yeah. And I can honestly say I have never, in the 20-some years I've been doing this, heard a student come back disappointed from RYLA or young RYLA. And I think that says a lot about the program itself. But I've never, ever heard anybody be disappointed. So with that, turn it back to you.
Job. Quick reminders, if you come to the meeting next week, you'll be lonely. So we are dark next week. We'll not have a meeting. Our next meeting will be on the 2nd. John McCarty is going to be the speaker. He's going to talk to us about his trip to Madagascar. You've got lots of pictures, right, John? Very good, very good. And then after this meeting, we are going to, anybody has questions about the Manzanillo trip, come on up here and we'll sit down and meet. So could you all stand and join me in the... Oh, sorry. Julie, we're going to give you one more job. Why don't you come up here? So we do a little drawing every week, and I'm going to have you pick a number out of the hat, a ticket out of the hat. And then read the last 3 digits. 014. No. So now she gets to draw for blue marbles. So thank you. Great job.
First of all,
Yes.
Right. Now hold it high, because she's sneaky.
I believe in the Mark Gale retirement strategy of gambling my way. No, you do not. Okay, so if I win, it's mine. If I lose, that was Eric's.
One more. Oh. That darn Eric. It's always the guy's fault. Right now, if you could stand and join me in the 4-we test. For all we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? will be beneficial to all concerned. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, everyone.